स्टूडेंट्स अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाह। हमने आज एक्सरसाइज 5.3 पे आना है और इस एक्सरसाइज को हमने इससे पहले कि हम सीखें हमने ये सीखा है कि कार्टेशियन एक्सिस जो है या कोऑर्डिनेट एक्सिस हैं एक्स एक्सिस एंड वाई एक्सिस what horizontal line and a vertical line meeting at a point called the origin. Divide the plane into 4 parts and each part is called a quadrant. So this xy plane has 4 quadrants: quadrant first, quadrant second, quadrant third and quadrant fourth. Now a point in a quadrant will be, what is the form of the coordinates, or what kind of coordinates a point can have in a quadrant. Let us look. In the first quadrant, any point will be of the form this: x coordinate will be positive and y coordinate will also be positive, because you have positive x axis over here and positive y-axis in the first quadrant. So every point in the first quadrant will be plus type, that is x coordinate will be positive and y coordinate will also be positive. In the second quadrant you have x-axis negative side of the x-axis and y-axis will be positive. So any point in this quadrant second will be of the form minus plus, that is x coordinate will be negative and y coordinate will be positive. So it is negative positive quadrant. And in the third quadrant you have x axis is negative and y axis is also negative. So any point in this quadrant will be of the form minus minus. So here x coordinate will be for any point existing in this third quadrant, it has negative x coordinate and negative y coordinate. Both abscissa and ordinate will be negative. And in the fourth quadrant we have positive x axis and negative y axis. So every point in this quadrant will be of this form: positive negative, that is abscissa will be positive and ordinate will be negative. So in this way we can judge, we can predict whether a point will lie in the first, second and third or fourth quadrant of the Cartesian plane. Now similarly a point on the x-axis will be of the form x comma 0, that is x, it will have x coordinate abscissa and its ordinate will be 0. So any point on the x-axis will be of the form x comma 0, and any point on the y-axis, I'm talking on the axis, be 0 comma y, that is it is, or abscissa will be 0 and ordinate will be any point on the y-axis. For example, here a point on the y-axis at this mark, at mark 5, will be 0 comma 5. Similarly a point on the mark 4 of the x-axis will be of the form 4 comma 0, that is it is abscissa is 4 but ordinate is 0. So this is whole about the points lying in the quadrants and on the axis, and the abscissa and the ordinate of the point on the origin is 0 0. So the origin will have coordinate 0 0. 0 0 is the coordinates of the origin. Now now comes the question number 1 of the exercise 5.3. we had to say that in which quadrant or on which axis the following pointers will lie, and we had to verify by plotting the pointers in the xy plane or the coordinate plane. So we here have two axes. We will draw two axes. One is x-axis, x and x prime, and y prime are the two coordinate axes over here. Now the point, for example, 1 2 x1 and y2, it has both the coordinates positive, that is epsilon is positive and ordinate is positive, so the 1 2 will lie in the first quadrant. We can check it by drawing the point in the coordinate plane or the xy plane. Now 1 on the first coordinate is, that is abscissa is 1, so abscissa over here, and the ordinate is 2. The 2 points can meet on this point, so this point is in the first quadrant. Now the second point is -2 4. -2 4 is the point. It is x -2 4. -2 4 -2 4. It is abscissa is negative and ordinate is positive, so it will lie in the second quadrant. Is first quadrant, it is quadrant second, quadrant third, and quadrant fourth. We can draw it in the xy plane as -2 lies on the negative side of the x-axis over here, and 4 lies over here. When we join the perpendiculars, we can find the point over here. So here is the point -2 4. Similarly, you can have a look on the point -1 0. So it is a point on the x-axis because its ordinate is given, or it's because its ordinate is 0 and the x coordinate is -1, so this point lies over here, -1 on the x-axis. Similarly, we can check for the -3 -5. Both the abscissa and the ordinate are negative. This point will lie in the third quadrant because third quadrant we have pointers negative type. So here in the first quadrant we have positive type pointers, both positive. Over here negative positive. Over here we have both negative, and over here we have positive and negative. So this point -3 5 lies over here. -3 on the x-axis and -5 on the y-axis meet at this point, so this point indicates the -3 5. Similarly, we can check -3 -1 -3 3 minus, it is 3 -1, 3 positive. It is ordinate x abscissa is positive, so 3 is over here and -1 is over here. Both the points can be its x coordinate is 3 and y coordinate is -1, so this point lies over here in the fourth quadrant because you can predict it without locating or drawing the point. We have positive negative points in the fourth quadrant. So this was whole about the question number 1 of exercise 5.3.